When identifying a sample and population, you'll want to clearly describe the type of data that's being collected. You might think about how people will respond to the statistics question being asked. Consider the Venn diagram below, which shows both a population and a sample. The population here is the party of registered voters in a certain county. That's the outer bubble of the Venn diagram. Now the sample is going to be the subset of the population that actually gets asked the question. So since these people here voted in the last election, we can collect information on what their party is because they could have told us what it was. And that's how we obtained the information. Keep in mind that even in an election, mistakes can and will happen. So even the data that we collect from that is never expected to be perfect. That's just part of statistics. Now let's look at the difference between a parameter and a statistic. A statistic is a numerical description of a sample characteristic. A statistic could vary from sample to sample because different samples might be chosen having different characteristics. A parameter, on the other hand, is a numerical description of a population characteristic. And parameters are constant for a given population. Who you include in your sample does not change the value of parameters. Decide whether the numerical value below is a parameter or a statistic. A says, a recent survey of 200 college career centers reported that the average starting salary for petroleum engineering majors is $83,121. Is this a statistic or a parameter? So, since the survey is of 200 career centers, and that's not all the career centers out there, this is going to be a statistic. It's from a sample. Let's try this one. The average starting salary for all engineering majors in the US. Is it a parameter or a statistic? This would be a parameter. And one of the words to look for is all. See here, everyone in the population is considered when calculating this average, so it's a parameter. How about C? The average number of spots for a population of 10 genetically altered ladybugs is 4 spots, and the ladybugs are shown below. Would this be a statistic or a parameter? Since it's about a population, that's one of the words to look for here. This would be a parameter. One of the most important parameters we'll look at is called mu, the population mean. Oppositely, X bar is a statistic. It's a sample average.